We need to let the soul-sucking jobs be done by the soulless machines. Hi, everyone. I'm Sid Charisse.
And I'm David Bosher.
And you're listening to Destroy the Hairdresser,
where we teach you to salon differently. After years of searching, we finally found a software that does it all. Introducing Aura Salonware. With Aura, you have the simple tools to streamline your business, such as a card on file, settings for hourly pricing, and even station sharing options. Implement communication boundaries with clients by interacting directly through Aura. Finally, a software that takes your business as seriously as you do. If you're interested in this type of profit maximization, visit aurasalonware.com/DTH to receive special discounts and promos.
As a hairdresser, I know the struggle of managing your back bar, and that's where our friends at SalonScale come to play. While you weigh your products with their app, SalonScale automatically tracks your products used, making inventory management a breeze. Not to mention, they also save your formula. They are a digital solution for back bar management, and they really make it easy. You know we're both big on knowing your numbers, and SalonScale does just that. Visit salonscale.com/DTH and use the code DTH10 at checkout for 10% off your first year.
On this episode of Destroy the Hairdresser,
Sid turns off her phone because everybody in the studio asked me to make sure your cell phones are off, and guess who left hers on?
Sid is the person at every
movie,
party,
theater,
anything we go to, when they say, please turn off your phones, she looks like she's turning it off, but somehow it doesn't get turned off.
I turned it on silent. I don't.
And then the buzz is.
And then it's my watch, the buzz. Eventually we'll have chips in our hands that'll be buzzing.
Sid is the person
I'm just going to be buzzing.
She will have her Apple Watch and she'll look at it to read the text, but then she'll open her phone to reply to the text.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
Well, sometimes I talk to my watch, but
I've seen Sid,
I don't want to do that in public. What am I, Inspector Gadget?
Look at her watch and then run across the room full speed to get her phone.
Everyone listening, you all have done it too. If you have an Apple Watch or some phone watch, you've done it too. You don't get it, David.
I don't get it. I did. Actually, I do get it. I had an Apple Watch and I had.
You had two. You tried this twice.
I tried living Sid's life and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Every notification, every buzz, my brain, it was like.
I love it.
It was not great.
Live for it.
We were going to talk about something else, but I think we should talk about hiring robots and not humans.
Fine. Let's talk about that because I could not live without the robots. I have so many robots in my house. I think my Alexa, all my Apple devices, my vacuum cleaner
everything.
Just cleans everything on its own.
Same.
My alarm clock is set to different times and dates, and I'm literally just a robot to my robots.
Our Alexa, Josh, my partner, has Alexa set up to read the calendar to him and tell him what the news is.
Every morning when I wake up.
Robots everywhere. And it's funny because I think we live in a world where one day there'll be robots. And it's there are, and we're using them
I am a robot.
all the time. There's now, we said that one of the things I would say is that robots probably, and now I'm going to eat my words, but hopefully they will never be able to do hair like a human does.
I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubes lately.
But then I saw that YouTube video of that kid.
That he made something to cut his hair.
He made a robot.
He looked frightened. It was in a time lapse because obviously it was moving very slow.
Right, but it cut his hair. But
he
apparently
was terrified the whole time.
Apparently he put in the image.
Yeah.
And then the robot did it.
Yeah. It didn't look bad.
It didn't look bad. It looked I'm not
letting a robot cut my hair.
It looked like a Flowbee. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
It looked like a Flowbee had done it. It was fine. But, hair is one of those, AI art is big right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have apps that do AI art and I'm obsessed with it. And I think it's just incredible.
And AI nail, you put in the image you want and you stick your nail in and it paints the image, prints the image on you.
Now we have AI text, for blogs and things like that.
Yeah, the chat GPT.
And we've had a lot of talks.
Is it GPT? CPT? I don't know.
Chat something.
Yeah.
But even there's more now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a lot of talks of using technology to write captions and to create images and
automation.
Automation.
So we can be humans.
But, our team had to decide at Destroy the Hairdresser, hey, we could start using AI to write blogs and just start pushing out content. And I remember, I'm not going to say who suggested that. You know who you are. And I remember saying to that person, we can't do that because there's no soul to there's no soul in it. Like, it's amazing. And if you want to push out content, it's going to be amazing. But there's no soul in the writing. There's no deep connection to it. And I think, in the future, will robots do hair? I think so. But I don't think it'll have the same artistry. Just like when
it'll replace what the in and out hairdressers.
It'll replace the in and out.
Yeah, like the clipper cut, or what are the places called? Like,
I don't think we should say any of their names.
Oh, that's true too.
But it'll replace them.
But
if you're a hairdresser, you know what we're talking about.
When you go in and can we bleep what I just said?
Let's just say supercuts and sports clips, and then if you could bleep that out for us so we don't get sued, that'd be great.
But I mean, and that's fine. There are going to be some people that want that, but there are going to be some people that still value the art of hair. And what's funny is that
the human connection of it.
When that happens, I think our industry and hairdressers will finally say, "I'm an artist,
and we can charge
more money."
If you let a robot do it, you as a human, you can charge a lot more money doing it. And
so bring on the robots, because then we can finally get hairdressers to charge what they should be charging.
I agree, and I think too. I love AI art because it's fun to play with and to create and to do all that, even though you're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I would frame and purchase AI art.
Yeah.
Because most of art, you purchase it because of the depth and energy and story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's, maybe I would buy an AI art piece if it was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to have, but if it's just like I typed in cats and dogs and butterflies and it created something, I wouldn't be even if it was exactly what I wanted, I wouldn't buy it and frame it, it becomes very quick. I can
the
just
exchange of art is the earning process. Like there's the energy. It's so impactful. So when you remove that, it has no energy. It's lifeless.
Exactly. And for some people that'll be okay.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people that will not be okay. And so when, bring on the robots, hire them. Robots are a great way of, and I think when we say robots, they think like a robot from the movie.
You're talking about technology.
I'm talking about technology.
Our phone is a robot.
Yeah. Use technology, put things in place to create automation. I think we have so many old school things that we still use in salons. Some people still write their appointments on paper, which...
Everything at the front desk. What's funny is a lot of these things were, a lot of them, hear me out on this train of thought that I'm about to have. A lot of these things were set in place to create a better customer experience, right?
Yes.
But what ended up happening is humans doing things that they were not meant to do, that now we have technology that can do it. We're doing these things, and it was so exhausting and so soul-sucking. Think about anybody that's worked in customer care behind the front desk, that it removed the human connection and created poor customer service.
Right.
And we're over here like, why don't we get rid of the front desk? Why don't we use all this incredible technology like Salon Scale or Aura or, not to plug our sponsor.
Hair Story.
But Hair Story, so that we can then have the human experience and then have better customer service. But there's so much fear around that.
Let me say this to the audience. I think it needs to be said.
Say it.
If you want to keep doing things a certain way, for example, if you want to write your appointments on a big notepad for a
whiteboard,
what is it even? An appointment book? An appointment book? Because it's nostalgic and it fits the vibe of what you're doing, fine.
Cool, do it.
But if you want to future-proof your business, which is what we're all about doing, which is about
utilizing our resources now in this time period.
Yeah, to give people more time in their life. So again, I think people sometimes assume we're saying everything else is bad. We're not saying that things are bad. We're trying to prepare people for the future, which is going a lot. The future is so much faster than life was before. So we need to understand technology and utilize it. So, I mean, I went to a barbershop in Brooklyn for a photo shoot for a client, and it is beautiful. It's called Ludlow Blunt, if anyone wants to Google it. It's gorgeous. It is like old school. So every detail, the ceiling is old tin.
Love.
Everything is marble.
Mm-hmm.
They have they have a whole, it's like a museum. You go in, there's like a
Antique chic.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But like real, like sourced antiques from real places. And they had technology, like they have a computer, but they also had a very old school appointment book. And I remember thinking that it fits here. It belongs, this appointment
now
book
it's
belongs
aesthetic.
here. Now it's aesthetic.
It's not necessity. I'm sure they still have
they did.
technology.
They
and
had a
things
point
like
of
that.
sale, and I'm sure their whole team has some sort of electronic connection. But it was just like, there's no need to get rid of that.
Kind of like Coach Joy in her salon in LA, the Ministry Salon. She has a VHS TV, an old TV with a VHS in it, and she plays Valley movies because of like that.
That's the vibe.
Like that's the vibe. So like it's so cool.
But our job as coaches, which will always brush up against that, is are we utilizing every space? Are we maximizing profit? Are we streamlining the way that we do business?
I mean, that's what we look in every single business that we work with.
Yeah. So if you want me and Sid to look at your business and tell you where you can streamline and tighten things up, make more money, and make things go much easier, we're going to point out things like the appointment pad. We're going to point out things like, okay, the TV's there. Can we move the TV, put it in the station?
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes it sounds like we're removing a lot of things from the salon, but our job is to streamline.
Yeah.
And to help bring in technology to streamline all these things.
We can just be.
But your job as the artist,
connecting,
and the person who created the space is to then put back the things that you want. So I do think we get a lot of people that think or assume that we're trying to remove a lot of things from the industry. We're trying to remove dependency on humans from jobs they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Like sitting at a front desk.
I want to paint a picture of like some of our future-proof salons. The client comes in, is greeted by their stylist or by a team, because it truly is like a culture. And there is no front desk. Some salons do have a digital check-in service.
Yeah.
And what's awesome, because of this technology, their next appointment's already booked. Their credit card's on file. They sit down. They get their hair cut or colored. They have an incredible experience. They leave because everything is at their availability and the card is charged. Like we're not doing tipping, so we don't have to worry about that. It's literally, I'm coming in, I'm sitting down, and I'm leaving. And I know that my card's going to be charged, and I also know that my next appointment is already booked.
And
or I'll book it when I freaking want to, because I don't know what my next 6 months look like. We have partnered with Hairstory, a product line that is good for our clients, our planet, and our bank account. Have you heard of New Wash? It's like a shampoo, but actually good for your hair. New Wash is a cleansing cream that cleans and conditions without the harsh foams and damaging detergents found in traditional shampoos. Hairstory does things differently, creating more conscious options that respect the environment and your hair ecosystem. Ready to try New Wash for free? Visit hairstory.com/DTH to get pro access today.
The way that we see how we invite technology into a space is that it allows people to be people again in the process.
Simplicity.
It's, I remember growing up in the salon industry and learning to do consultations that were very robotic. The 5 C's: cost, cut, condition, color.
Including product in it.
Commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I get, those are good points to make in a consultation, but that's not how I talk.
Yeah.
And so everything that we were taught is kind of robotic in nature. I'd rather someone answer those 5 questions before they come into the appointment via an email.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how much I want to spend. This is what I'm looking for. This is how much time I can commit. But, that's what we're saying is like what we were taught as humans. How can we transform that into utilizing technology?
Absolutely.
And I think that freaks people out.
Well, I think what freaks people out is there's still so much fear around learning technology. It's changing and adapting and moving so quickly that we already have so much going on behind the chair.
Yeah.
Like trends are coming in and out. We're trying to keep up with just learning. And now we have to learn technology on top of it. And you don't really have to learn it. Like you need to learn it enough to implement it, but then let it do its thing.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Most technology now is created to not have to be micromanaged.
Right.
And I think people are so scared of it that you're not even getting to know it. You need to date technology a little bit.
Yeah. I look at technology like the way I look at teaching salon owners about technology the way that I look at teaching my grandmother about technology.
Step 1.
It's nearly impossible. But once they get it, they can never live without it.
Absolutely.
I remember getting my grandmother an iPhone. My grandmother's 91 now. So cell phones were just like not a thing.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to imagine this 90-year-old woman looking at a piece of metal and being like, there's a computer in there and like I can do. And her biggest fear, and I think this is the biggest fear for all people learning how to use technology, whatever it is I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something and I'm going to mess it up.
Break.
Yeah. And I've always encouraged people when I'm teaching them how to streamline their business to mess it up. That's how you learn to streamline. But it's the same with salon owners. It's like, I'm afraid to do that thing because what if it messes up the client experience? What if it messes up a price? What if it messes up scheduling? It's like,
we're already messing
things up.
So it's okay. I remember we had a student once who was afraid to do online booking, which is like one of the first ways that we moved into technology. And
I just laugh because like now people are listening like they were. It's like, so were you.
Yeah, so were you.
When it first started, so were you.
So the biggest hiccup was the loss of control.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're still very much in control. But you're allowing, for every single client in your salon and your business to call you, to book an appointment. You're on your phone all day long. You've taken away your human experience because now you're just a receiver for appointment booking.
You're a call center.
Yeah, you're a call center. And the biggest fear was, what if someone booking their own appointment gets messed up? And I'm like, you do realize that everyone in the world is booking online everywhere else but your salon. And the reality is, it's like, they might mess it up. And that's okay. And you correct it and you adapt. And you might even have to say, hey, this was booked wrong and I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to do it. And you know what? They might get mad and it's not the end of the world and we're moving on. And I think we have to just be prepared for those things. But that doesn't mean that we stray away from them. We just have to adapt with them and create solutions. That's critical thinking.
It's so funny that there are still people out there that won't do online booking. Now, I have a lot of rules around online booking. I don't mind if people do online booking. But if someone's going to do online booking, you have to have
boundaries still.
You have to have boundaries.
Like a cancellation policy.
And you also, that's a whole other thing. But also plan out your life a little bit. Like, I know people that do online booking and they go, oh, I'm booked 5 months out. How great. I'm like, so when are you going to go on vacation? What about family holidays? What if there's an emergency?
What if there's an emergency?
And there's no room.
Yeah.
And they don't think like that. It's like, you have to look at your calendar as a human and put in the human stuff and then let the robot do the rest for you.
Yeah, just because you work Tuesdays and Wednesdays doesn't mean you should always work Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Some weeks you might have to work a Friday and a Saturday because Tuesday and Wednesday are busy, but you don't always know that. And I think, again, that goes back to in salon, letting your stylist have schedule freedom.
Right. Because
we are human and you're taking away a human connection by denying them a life of living.
Yeah.
Of being like, no, you can't go to that funeral or that wedding or you can't have your baby.
I was just talking to a student who still remembers to this day that her grandmother died and she requested to go to the funeral and the salon owner said, but we don't have anyone to cover your shift.
Yeah. Or when are you going to make that up?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's my favorite.
Yes, when are you going to make that up?
Are you going to make up that time?
I want to this is off topic.
While I'm grieving.
You can't make up time in a service. Like, you can't. It's not like you made up time. It's not like being an hourly wage employee doing manual labor where you can go in and make up time. This is not the same. You can't make up time if there's no clients.
Yeah.
Right. But I do think there's this level of treating salons a little bit like restaurants.
Yeah.
Like your shift, that is a whole other.
Yeah, your shift. You're going to take every table that comes in.
You take every table.
You have your section, which is your chair. You got to upsell, new drinks, like food of the day or the specials.
Food of the day.
Special.
No, but it's
soup
true.
of the day. That's what I was trying to think of.
It's true. Like, you're in a sales role. And so
but we're so worried about removing the front desk because we'll remove the human connection, yet we're
well, we've been busy removing the human connection the whole time.
The whole time.
But I just want to remind people, using technology properly will allow your business to have authenticity. It'll be more humane.
Yeah.
More human, more humane. It'll allow you to take more control, have stronger conversations, become a better leader, become a better artist, because you're letting the jobs that were ruining your soul be done by something that can be automated. And I remember there was one student that I had that she was paying over $75,000 a year for like a 3-person front desk team. But she would then stay after work to correct all the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
She would stay after work to make sure everything was, fixed and situated and prepared for the next day. And I'm like, so what are we paying these people for? And B, you're just doing what a robot can do.
Mm-hmm.
You're not meant to do those things.
Yeah.
You're meant to go home, be with your family, have dinner, have a meal, go to sleep, wake up, hopefully spend more time with your family, come to work, spend time with people, clients, and then do that all over again. But to sit behind a desk.
We need to let the soul-sucking jobs be done by the soulless machines.
Ooh, that's good.
That's where we need to.
And I'm sure we'll offend someone who thinks
my phone has a soul.
No, well, the soulless community. No, but I'm sure we'll offend someone. Like, I know there are people out there that they have no choice but to do jobs that maybe are not.
Well, I'd rather
inspiring.
use those people at the front desk, because I do hear from a lot of salons of they're so good, and I'm like, you're wasting their potential.
That's
let
the
them
point.
Be something else impactful in your. You don't have to fire your front desk people. Sometimes you do, but if they're truly trying to make a career in your business and they're not a hairdresser, give them a better career.
Right.
Don't just throw them behind a desk. Have them be doing something that is going to be more impactful for the long-term effects of your business.
Absolutely. So, in short, use robots.
Next time on Destroy the Hairdresser, the podcast.
Out of all of the programs that I've ever invested in, this is probably the most powerful program I've ever been in.